Hey folks, welcome to part 2 in my brain training series, the series where I teach you how to outsmart your opponent. Watching part 1 before this part isn't really necessary, but of course I recommend you do check that one out after this video if you haven't already done so. It dealt with target prioritization and anticipation. The first topic in this video is movement and positioning. When you move around the map, you don't want to be caught out in the open very often. Now unfortunately, this isn't always preventable, but what you can do is limit your exposure. How can we do this? Well, we use any form of cover that we can, but not only that, you should be running at angles to entry-exit points and common places enemies might be. Let's look at an example. Here's a common street in Rotterdam, which is between the E and D flags on Conquest. This street can have a lot of enemies either side, in the windows, on multiple floors, or just inside the doorways. Therefore, if you were to run down the middle of this street, you are exposing yourself to players on both sides. However, if you run either side, you're only exposing yourself to one. To illustrate, here is an in-game scenario. You're playing in Conquest on Rotterdam and you've just capped Echo flag, and you're pushing up to D. You want to take that flag, it is currently in enemy control. You reach this street mentioned. Which route do you take? 1, 2 or 3? It would be this side. Enemies will most likely be on D and in and around the windows above or the doorways. As you approach the entry point to the flag, you would angle yourself to give yourself cover as you check out the flag cap area and potential enemies around. So why not the other side? As it would give you a better view of who's there? Yes, it would, but it would also give your enemies a nice view of you too. What if there are multiple enemy players there, in the doorways or in the windows? Where are you going to go to escape and fall back to? If you go with my suggested side, at least if there are 2 or more, you can back off out of sight, and if they want to get you, they'll have to expose themselves to you. Or you can use the angle to your advantage, as they will be exposed in the hallways. This angling is very important. You should be doing this constantly as you move around the map and when targeting players. The game now even allows you to manually lean, which can give you a better line of sight while limiting your exposure also. So how do you set up this manual lean? Well, you want to go into your controls, go across to control schemes, down to custom, and then select that. You want to scroll all the way down until you get to this part here. So activate strafe to lean is one way you can do it. I don't like doing it this way because when you ADS, you then use your left stick to move left and right. But that means you can't move, and I like to be on the move. So I set it up this way, where my R3 and L3 is the lean. This is the best option for me. It's up to yourself how you want to do it. Here's another in-game example of reducing your exposure by angling and leaning. I see firing from multiple different weapons ahead. I know there are multiple enemies in this narrow street to my left. I edge around the corner, taking out each one at a time without fully exposing myself to any of these players. Here's a view of each of them during the engagement. They can't see me very well, can they? If I simply ran out into the middle of the street, my chances of winning these gunfights would have been much less likely, as all 3 players could have engaged me as I would have been fully showing to all of them. If you ever do find yourself caught out in the open, then be sure to keep moving. Strafe from side to side during gunfights, as a stationary target is much easier to hit than a moving one. As this game still has a bit of a visibility problem and you can struggle to see players, make sure you're moving around when looking for them. In this instance here, I may have someone looking right at me as I search for players hiding up top. If I stop moving to look around, I would be dead. How often as a sniper do you get taken out the moment you stop to line up your shot? Always assume someone is looking at you and are ready to shoot you the moment you stop moving. The final part of this movement and positioning is do the unexpected. I will relate back to flanking as I did in the previous video. If you see the bulk of your team is pushing the same side, you go to the other. The bulk of the enemies will be looking towards them, which will be in a different direction to your approach. This gives you the element of surprise. Keep an eye on your minimap to know where your teammates and squad mates are also. They could help you pull this off. This leads me on to using auditory and visual information to your advantage. I just mentioned the minimap. Try to get into the habit of briefly glancing at it as you move around the map. There are other in-game visuals that can highlight dangers around. For example, if you see a mass of downed teammates, chances are there's someone around who is well hidden and they're hiding. They could be prone, they could be in a building, in a window. You need to make an important decision in this type of situation. Run or slide out and hope you are quicker than they are. Approach with caution and use smoke. Take a different route. Or even wait until a blueberry runs out, and so you then know where the bullets are coming from once they get killed. Which of these 4 options would you choose? Well, this one depends on the situation really. If urgency is required, then use smoke and conceal yourself. But if your teammates are unopen, then this can happen. You end up dead anyway. Of course, you can't wait for a blueberry to run out blindly. There are plenty of them around and it wouldn't be long before one comes along. I actually do this a lot and use them as a means of identifying where enemy players are. Once they become engaged, I then engage that player. However, if you have time, take a different route. This is the best option, as shown here. Don't ever run out and hope for the best. You will often get mowed down as shown. The minimap is also helpful in letting you know that other teammates have recently died, marked with an X beside their name and there is danger around. In this instance I notice this, so I just wait for a few seconds and then they appear and I kill them. Many would not have noticed this and would have ran straight ahead and they would have died to this player. Just take a few extra seconds. In this second example, I noticed 3 X's indicating 3 dead teammates. Now if you look closely, all 3 of these X's are along the dotted line. Those are trenches. Someone has been using the trenches to try and flank around the back of us. This is a perfect example that you don't need spot flares up to know someone is there. As I push across, trying to find them, I listen out to this, and of course, there they were. I heard them running along, I take them out, and I take the teammate out that spawned on them. If I was not aware of this, these 2 players could have got around the back of us and flanked the flag. Use your eyes on the minimap and also listen for them when you think you're approaching where they might be. Now while I'm talking about listening for players, there is also other auditory information this game gives you. I am not talking about footsteps or bullet noises that help give away enemies' locations. Most know about these. There are other more subtle ones that many do not listen out for, and you really should be. Listen out for enemy callouts. If you engage a player and then hear him call for a mid-pack, he isn't a medic and will have limited heals. Depending on your own circumstances, you could be aggressive in this situation and push them, as shown here. I am now going to replay the same clip but remain quiet and enhance the audio for you to listen to the callouts yourself.
Kein Spaß! Lenk sie von mir ab!
Additionally, if you down an enemy and then have to retreat around a corner to heal up because you took some damage yourself, if you're still close by, listen out for the revive animation. It does actually make a sound. You can hear the teammate kneel down to revive them and then also use the syringe if they are a medic. If you hear the kneel down but no syringe, then it will be a longer revive animation as they are not a medic. It is then when you hear this kneeling down that you have an opportunity to kill the player before they complete the revive, as they will be defenseless. As before, I will now let you listen to this clip without me talking. So in all these instances, there was only the kneeling down sound, so none of these were medics, and I knew it was going to be a longer revive and had a bit more time to take them out. Now, listen to the next clip. You heard the kneeling down and the syringe being used. This was a medic revive, and as you can see, it was much quicker. So sometimes in these instances, you may want to think about just waiting, especially if they're smoked. And again, if they are smoked out, chances are it is going to be a medic revive, and that's another indicator that that is coming. Now let's put everything into practice that I've talked about. What I am going to show you is something similar to what I did in part 1, me talking through an in-game situation. However, this one will not be recorded audio over the footage you're seeing. It is all in real time. In this one I will call out everything I see, possible hazards or dangers ahead. I'm going to talk through what I am doing as I traverse the map. I will talk about what I am seeing, hearing and thinking. I try to anticipate enemy players and their movements and adjust my actions accordingly whilst conveying this to you. All these things are going through my head normally. I am just going to try and say them out loud as I play. Enjoy. Okay, so we're losing D flag here. We're going to run up there and try and take it back. Yeah, as I'm pushing up here, I'm going to check their vantage points, the first floor buildings, to make sure there's no one there, no one there, no one there. Okay, I see gunfire there. Okay, we're going to go up this right hand side, angle myself in the buildings, check this one out, no one there. Okay, let's see, anyone here, angling myself, checking up above. I thought I heard someone behind me there, someone above, no. Oh, no, teammate, oops. Okay, there's one there at least. I can still hear someone else. There's someone up there. He's way up to check. Okay, there's either someone... Oh, I'm on fire. Okay, so there's either someone up there or someone just in here. I can't see anyone marked up in the minimap, so I'm just going to have to try and go in here and angle myself. There's oh, someone there, MMG. There we go, nice. Check left. Okay, there's no one there. Sometimes you get players camping there. 2 or 3 players on the flag. Oh, someone here? Yeah. I heard them. Okay, let's check above here. See if anyone up there and use another camping spot. Yep. Okay, nice. Okay, they currently have B flags, so there could be someone pushing across this direction. No one there at the minute. Okay, let's check around the outside parts of the flag. I can see in the minimap someone died over here, so I need to be careful looking out and checking this area. No one there. I think I hear someone coming down here. Yes, there they are. I hear someone else. Is there another player? There's no one showing on the minimap. I definitely hear someone. Yep, there he is. Oh, someone else got him. That was quite good. I think I might use this one as the actual clip.